Hi everyone, welcome back to most frequently asked question for API testing series. So next question they have, how do you validate the response content in your API testing? So response content, right? So when you are sending the request, we are getting the response, right? So let me show you. So this is, we have a one API for the postman. So what happened in this request body, right? So we are sending the request to create a workspace, right? And we are getting some responses, you can see. So here we need to validate, right? In the response, the most important things, we have to validate the status code. For the success, we are getting the 200, right? And now for the response body, right, it looks like a very simple response, but in the real time we have a huge data. But again, we need to take the help from the specification document. What are the important components are there, we need to validate actual and expected. And we have to also validate some of the headers, right? So in the headers, some of the important things are there in your spec talk. So we are going to suppose these are the hidden headers, the default headers we have, right? So I'm talking about of this here, I'm talking about of this all the things in your postman, right? We are doing the manually, but when you will do in your automation, in the rest assured, many methods, classes, interfaces are there to validate this all the things, guys. Okay, to validate the response content in the API, you typically do something, check out the status code, guys. So I have shown you for the success, but we have to also validate for negative scenario, right? So we have a 400 series or 500 series as well, right? It's not working properly and all, right? So negative scenario we have to also follow. Okay, so then now we can validate the response body as well. So suppose you are creating something, or we can check the things are created or not. So in this, right, I will validate the ID and I will validate the name. Okay, so verify that the data returned, the response body matches expected results, including key value pair, a structure and data types as well, right? So better we can follow the spec document, right? So 100% test coverage, and we have a confident we have validated all the important things. And verify the headers, right? So headers are also the important component, right? So we have authorization, right? You can see, suppose in the headers we are using the API keys. If I will not use this API keys, then what will happen? If your API keys is expired, then what will happen, right? So these are all the things we have to validate. A schema validation, right? So sometimes we are getting the huge data, right? So we can take the help from some tools and library to validate the response matches expected schema, right? Then data integrity, ensure the data return is accurate and consistent to the database and backend system, guys. So one of the other important part, right? So something is returning from the database, right? So we need to also validate the database as well. So whatever the value it returning from the response side, and we can have in your database as well, right? So this is also important. So mostly they are using some cloud, right? So we have a Azure cloud, AWS, and we have a GCP, Google cloud as well. So how they are designing and all, so we can validate this all the part and all. Okay guys, so that's it in this video. So if you are new in the channel, please subscribe my channel and press bell icon. Coming days we are going to upload many new videos. In the next video, bye bye.